Things between my wife and me used to feel easy, natural. We had our routines, our little jokes, our quiet moments that didn't need words. I always believed we had that kind of connection that didn't fade easily. But lately, something's been off. Subtle at first. Missed eye contact, distracted nods when I talked, the way she'd glance at her phone every few minutes. It wasn't like her. It became more noticeable when I realized she was texting constantly, almost always smiling softly to herself or giggling quietly. When I'd ask what was so funny, she'd just say, "Nothing, just my friend," and then change the subject or put the phone face down. I trusted her. I've always trusted her. But something didn't sit right with me. It wasn't just the texting, it was how she had started pulling away, even without meaning to. We used to stay up talking at night. Lately, she'd lie in bed next to me, face lit up by her phone screen, fingers moving nonstop. I'd lie there quietly, pretending to sleep, wondering who was getting all her energy, all her time, all her laughter. I'd catch glimpses of the screen sometimes. It was always the same name. A woman I vaguely knew she had mentioned before, someone she used to hang out with casually. Now, apparently, they were closer than ever. Still, I tried to tell myself it was innocent. People need friends. She's allowed to have her own life, her own space. But I couldn't ignore how I felt, left out, disconnected, like she had built a private world that didn't include me anymore. I missed her. Missed us. One evening, we were having dinner and she was half listening, phone in hand again, smiling at the screen. I paused mid-sentence, just watching her. She didn't even notice. I said her name quietly and she finally looked up, a little startled, like she forgot I was there. That moment hit me hard. I realized how far apart we'd drifted and how little effort she seemed to be making to stop it. Later that night, I couldn't sleep. She was asleep beside me, breathing peacefully, and her phone buzzed again. I reached for it, hesitated. I knew it wasn't right, but I needed to understand. I needed to see for myself what was going on. The messages were long, frequent, emotional. They talked about everything, fears, dreams, personal things she hadn't said to me in months. The other woman clearly knew my wife better than I did at that point. And while it didn't look romantic in the usual sense, there was intimacy there, an emotional bond that had once been mine. I felt a strange mix of anger, sadness, and guilt. Maybe I hadn't been paying enough attention. Maybe I'd missed the signs that she was lonely, or bored, or just needed someone who understood her differently. But I also felt betrayed, not because she made a new friend, but because she shut me out and didn't tell me why. The next morning I looked at her differently. Not with hate or resentment, just with this quiet ache in my chest. I wanted to talk to her, to ask what was really going on, but I was afraid of the answer. What if she didn't miss me the way I missed her? What if she was already slipping away and I was the only one still holding on? So I just said, "Hey, how are you feeling these days?" She smiled and said, "Good. Why?" I nodded, told her I was just wondering, but deep down I was wondering much more. Wondering when we stopped being enough, wondering if we could ever find our way back to each other, or if she had already found someone else to take that place.